I know that we're nearing the end of February, but I decided that I wanted to do another book tag. I saw Larry from Larry Reads do this book tag, and I thought, you know what? I love these questions. I love how she has changed up these questions from last year whenever she did them. So I decided, hey, we're still in February. It's still the beginning of the year. So let's just do this beginning of the year book tag. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you all so much for getting me to 1,000 subscribers. I love each and every one of you. A lot of you have reached out to me on Patreon or my Pango Books account because you have bought some books from me, or you've reached out to me on Instagram, and I absolutely love getting to know every one of you. Please make sure that you always check my description box because you can join the Fable book club. The link is below for our monthly book club on there, and we can chat on there as well. Also, my links to my socials, my Instagram, Goodreads, my Patreon, my Pango Books account, and even 10% off the entire Bookish Box website if you use my link below. It looks like Larry has created 18 questions, and I cannot wait to share my answers with you. Some may not be a surprise and others may, but let's just start getting into the questions and going through this. Question number 1. How many books am I planning on reading in 2025? I do think on my Goodreads and maybe even the Fable app, and I also know in my book journal that I have 125 books written down. However, I am not really going to be strict with that because I want to consume more books that I love rather than just trying to read as many as I can to hit that number. It's all about enjoyment for me, and I have learned that over the past couple of years that I don't need to just be forcing myself to get through as many books as possible. I want to love them, I want to devour them and keep them on my bookshelves where I can often return to them and think, oh, you know what, I loved that book, or I remember this scene from the book. So 125, we'll see if I hit that. Question number 2 is a book that I am likely to reread this year. And with book 2 coming out, I think it's like October or November, I want to reread Quicksilver by Callie Hart. Brimstone, I think, is the second book. It is still several months away, and I read this as an ebook. I want to listen to the audio. I've already purchased the audiobook. I have heard so many people say how amazing the narrators are, and I can't wait to experience that. So I think maybe in September I will reread this again in preparation for book 2 coming out. Question number 3 is a priority read that is on my 2025 TBR. Hands down, I want to read A Fate Forged in Fire by Hazel McBride, I believe. I saw Rachel from Raven Haired Reader get an arc of this, and she has been raving about how much she loves it, and she already wants book 2. And I don't think this book comes out until May. So now I'm really intrigued on what is about this book, what does she love about it, and I can't wait to get my hands on it whenever it releases. Question number 4 is an author that I won't be reading any more books from this year, or actually at any point in the future, and that is Jessa Hastings. She wrote the Magnolia Parks universe and also Never. I do not mesh with her writing. I couldn't get into the Magnolia Parks universe, which I know so many people love that series for one reason or another. Maybe you like it because of Daisy Hates. Maybe you like it because of Magnolia and BJ. I read the first book. I kind of liked it. I loved the drama. I loved how just messy it all was. And then I read Daisy Hates, and I can't remember what it's called. Book 2 was so boring for me that I just couldn't keep going, so I DNF'd the series. And then I just recently picked up Never, which was our Patreon book club pick for January, and it's like a Peter Pan retelling, like the original Peter Pan. Listen, I could not with that book for many reasons. Definitely go back and watch my January wrap up if you want my full thoughts on it. But I have realized that Jessa Hastings just isn't an author for me, and that's okay. Question number 5. Something new you want to read. I want to read more thrillers or mysteries because I get so sucked in to the dark romance, romantasy, paranormal romance genre that I don't ever stray away from it. I'm not a horror reader. I get too freaked out whenever it comes to horror. Thrillers, I would love to read more of those. I've only read just a handful of them in my life, and the ones that I have read I've really enjoyed. I really liked The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides. I really enjoyed, I want to say, 2 of Lisa Jewell's books. I know she's a hit or miss author. There's a couple that I have enjoyed, but I don't read a whole lot of them. I want to read more from Alex Michaelides. I do want to try some Riley Sager. I know that he is kind of hit or miss for a lot of people, but I want to just branch out. I don't want to just keep myself in this bubble where I'm only reading these romance books. I want to kind of segue into others. Question number 6 is a popular book that I want to read. I read book 1. I even read the novella that came after book 1. I haven't picked up book 2, and book 3 is releasing, I think, in April. So I want to read Reckless by Lauren Roberts, which is book 2 in this series. I didn't necessarily enjoy Powerless, but I did really like the novella of Powerful, so it kind of reinvigorated my want to read this series. I know that some people really love book 2, and then there's a lot of people that don't. I want to kind of go into it with an open mind and see which side of the tracks I am, so to speak. But I know this is a very loved series by a lot of people, and I want to read Fearless whenever it comes out because I do want to knock down all the series that I'm currently in the middle of. Question number 7 is my most anticipated 2025 book release. I absolutely love this author. I want to read everything that she has ever written, and that is Realm of Thieves by Karina Halley. I think this comes out maybe in the summer time frame or early summer. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. I put in to have an arc of it through NetGalley. It's been sitting there pending for probably a month now. I don't think that I'm gonna get it, which is okay. I love Karina Halley's writing. I have read 2 of her duologies. I read Hollow and Legend, and then I also read Blood Orange and Black Rose. So I want to read more from her, and whenever I saw this coming out, the synopsis, the cover, everything about it just screams what I would love. I am desperate for this book to come out so I can just gobble up more of Karina Halley's writing. Question number 8 is a bookish goal for 2025. You will hear me elaborate more on this in the next video whenever I do the March TBR video. I want to start reading my physical TBR. I want to get it down a lot more than it is. I think I currently have a little over 500 unread books. That is too many. I do not need to own that many books that I haven't read. So my goal this year is to read down my TBR, finish a lot of series that I'm in the middle of, get caught up on them. So I'm not thinking about, oh, I need to continue this series. I need to get to this book, but I want to read this book. I want a fresh slate. So my goal this year is 2 things. Read my TBR down and get caught up on a lot of my series. Question number 9 is a little bit of a call out for me, and it is a book that's on my TBR that I probably will not read unless I'm forced to, which, like I said, in my March TBR, you will see me elaborate more on this, but the book that currently I don't think that I'm ever gonna read is The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wong. Wang. I'm not sure how you say it, but I got this beautiful Page and Wick edition. However, I know that I am not an epic fantasy girly. I know that I get very lost in just thinking about other things as I'm reading it. So with this being a chunker, I don't know if I'm gonna get to it or not, but I do know it is a standalone, which is very rare for like an epic fantasy. I have heard that it packs a punch. It really gets you in the emotional feels. So I hope that if I am forced to read it due to some circumstances that I will be doing on my channel, I don't know if I'll ever get to it, and it's sad because it's a beautiful edition, and I've told myself that if I don't get to this book by the end of this year, I probably will unhaul it. Question number 10 is a series that I want to read this year, and I have seen so many people rave about this series, and I think it just finished. There's 4 books in it, and I think there is a spin-off series that just started, so I really want to get into it, and that is the Legends of Thesmar series by Helen Schur. This is the Moonlight book box edition. It's beautiful. But I do want to read this because I have heard so many people talk about how good it is, the plot, the action, the romance. I just need to know. And I think if I start reading this, if I do like it, I will probably binge this series, which is not a bad thing, but it also doesn't help with my goals for this year. All right, question number 11. My auto buy authors that going into 2025 are, I have so many auto buy authors. I really do. But I want to hit some of the indie authors or authors that are in a small publishing house because they don't get a whole lot of love, and I love to promote them because I feel like their writing is great. The books that I've read are amazing, and they're all romantasy, I believe. So there is one paranormal romance and one regular romance, and I think there's one author on here that is traditionally published and very hyped, but I have a mixed bag here. The authors are Sapper A. Englard, which wrote the Cloak of the Vampire series that I love. Also, she wrote Millennium Wolves, that is on the app Galatea, which I really do love that series. I have Rosa Lee. She is a dark romance author, but her Kissed by Shadows series is just chef's kiss. And then you have Allie Hazelwood, who everyone knows who she is at this point, but she's an auto-buy author for me because every book that I have read by her, which is like 4 or 5 books so far, all 4 and 5 stars. I don't find a single thing about them that I don't like, so auto-buy for me. Briar Bolin, I have talked about her a lot on my channel. She wrote the Queen of Roses series, and then she's also writing the On Wings of Blood series. I love her writing, and she also, I think Briar Bolin may be a pen name, or her other name is a pen name, which is Fina Edgewood, something like that, that does like historical romances. She's lovely. I love chatting with her, and I love her books. Luna Laurier, she is a paranormal romance author, and she wrote the Of Blood and Moonlight series, which is still going. So good if you like paranormal romance. And last but not least, because I have a ton more, like Karina Halley, it is Vela Roth. She has wrote this expansive, epic, high fantasy romance that is so politically based, so massive, a lot of characters along the way, and I think the reason why I like her series more than I do any other epic fantasy is because all the characters were introduced very slowly, with the story already moving at a snail's pace at times. You're able to learn who they are, get to know their personality. You kind of get warmed up to them before another person is introduced. So I do like that. I think it's made it very digestible. It's made it very easy for me to remember now 8 books in who these people are, and I desperately want more. Question number 12 is a book to show adaptation that I'm excited for this year. I don't watch a whole lot of movies or TV in general. However, I know this series is already out and still going week by week, but I'm ready for season 2 of My Happy Marriage. I watched the first episode and realized that it was going to come out every single week. So now I'm just waiting for it to wrap up so then I can just binge binge it in one night. I love My Happy Marriage. It is a fantasy romance, but it's very clean. It doesn't have any spice in it or anything. Wholesome, cute romance. It has some action and fantastical elements to it. I highly suggest if you like anime and you want like a clean fantasy romance, go watch My Happy Marriage on Netflix. Question number 13 is a sequel that I am anticipating this year. I am hoping that we are going to get the third book in this series, but that is the Cloak of the Vampire series by Sabrina Inglard. I know I've already talked about her. I want book 3. I have been scouring her Instagram. There has been no mention of book 3 yet, but I have a feeling that it will probably come later this year. I need more Ragnar Rain. I need more of the vampires in here and the world and the politics. So I'm hoping that comes soon. Question number 14 is bookish thing that I'm leaving in 2024, and that is I am stopping on pushing through books that are not interesting me. I am DNFing a lot more. I think I've already DNF'd like 5 or 6 books this year. It's absolutely insane. I have realized that there is no point in me reading a book that I have absolute no interest in. It's just wasting my time, especially if it's an audiobook where I'm sitting there listening to it, but I'm not. I'm literally putting it up to 3 times speed just to finish the book. Why would I do that? You know, that's just wasting my time, and my enjoyment isn't for fun anymore. So I have decided that there's going to be a lot more DNFs this year because these unread books, I bet you 90% of them I would love, but there might be 10% on here that I don't love and I just need to get rid of them. Question number 15 is what to expect from this account. I have been doing more book unhauls, book hauls, but I am also going to start incorporating weekly vlogs and see where it goes. I know that I tried it about 1.5 years ago, and my vlogs, I'm just not a vlogging girly, but I'm gonna try again and hopefully make it a little bit more fun. Also, I want to be more active with Patreon, be more active with Fable. I want to be more active with you guys, my community. So I am trying to come up with a little fun ideas that we can incorporate throughout the year. I am gonna start doing sprints more often. It's probably going to be another month or 2 before I do that because we are in the middle of hopefully closing on our new house on April 1st. Then we need to move, and then once we're all settled, I will probably start sprints again. I'm probably going to start more 48-hour readathons. There's a whole lot of things I want to do that are in the works, so I hope you stick around for it. Question number 16 is how has my reading taste evolved from last year? And I would definitely say it's evolved quite a lot. I have realized I don't like epic fantasy, so I'm getting rid of those books off of my shelf. I've realized that I can DNF books and not feel guilty, but also I have realized that there are certain types of books that I absolutely love. I have realized that I don't need to always read the most hyped books or the new releases that everyone talks about. I can just be me and read all the indie or all of the small published books that I want, that I absolutely love, because you know what? It's nice to have a fresh, unique taste out there instead of just going with the norm. Question number 17 is booktube creators that have inspired me. I am going to link them all down below so you can check out any and all of their channels if you are not already subscribed to them. Let's start off with, of course, Larry at Larry Reads. She is the one that created this book tag. I love her content so much. I wish that I could be a fun person like her, but I just can't come on here and be a comedian. I don't think that is the way that I am, but I absolutely love her content. And then also Becca from Becca and the Books. I've been following her for a very long time, and I am also in her Inner Circle Patreon. I love her content so much, although she reads a lot more epic fantasy than I do. But whenever we read books the same, I definitely can tell that we have the same tastes in a lot of the content that she consumes. And also Mel from from Melanor Reads. I love her content as well. I feel like her romantasy and stuff are things that are on par with what I would absolutely love. Also, Cassidy from Covers with Cassidy. Love her content as well. She's in her Why Choose era. I messaged her on Instagram. She said she'd buddy read with me. I desperately want to buddy read Blood of Hercules with her. I know that she has Realmathon about to be going on that she hosts, and there's a whole lot of things going on, but hopefully, crossing fingers, maybe in the next couple months her and I can get together, buddy read that, and I will vlog it for you. Rachel from Raven Haired Reader. She is my absolute go-to person for romantasy. I cannot get enough of her content. She reads so many different romantasy books that I've never heard of that I put on my radar because I feel like 95% of the time, her and we align whenever it comes to romantasy. Tori from Tori Between Pages. I love her content as well. Of course, other than Cassidy talking with me, none of these content creators know who I am, although I have reached out to all of them. I'm just a little, pea in a big pond, honestly, but hopefully at some point I can talk with some of them because there is so many things that I love about Tori's videos and how we align with a lot of the books that she reads. I just love all of their content and definitely consume them on the weekly basis. The last question, number 18. Something you would say to anyone wanting to start a bookish account. And of course, like everybody says, just do it. Don't be scared, just do it. I used to be terrified to get on this camera and talk to everybody. You can definitely tell it in my early videos. I need to probably just archive them because they are a hot mess. However, I also like to say, just be you. Whenever you come on, don't have expectations. Don't try to be like somebody or, act like somebody you're not. Just come on here and be yourself. If all you read is horror, do that. If you absolutely love literary fiction, do that. Don't feel like you have to read the new releases, the new hyped books. I read a lot of indie books and very small house publishing books. A lot of books that don't have a lot of hype around them. A lot of people don't know about them. And I like that. I like the fact that I read so many unique books that I can talk to you guys about it. And hopefully you'll find a new book that you love. That's what I like. That's what I have built my channel on, and I'm gonna keep it that way and just be myself. Hopefully you all love it and you stick around. That's my advice for you. All right, everyone, I know this is somewhat of a quick video, but I just wanted to kind of do this book tag while it was still the beginning of the year. Things are fresh. Please look out for my March TBR video. I'm telling you guys, there is something wild in the works, and I don't know how this is gonna work, but we're gonna see. Leave me any comments below of your thoughts, your feelings, or anything like that. And then lastly, if you do not want to leave me a comment, but you want to let me know that you were here, leave me some type of a red emoji for Cloak of the Vampire, because if you love vampire romances, I don't know what you're doing. Definitely go pick this book up. You will never think of Ragnar Rain any differently, and I bet you he'll be one of your book boyfriends. All right, everyone, I hope you enjoyed today's video, but I will see you next time. Bye!